Turn the recorder on. Good morning, Daryl.
Hey, Lou.
Um, I'm still trying to figure out how to share the Skype chat group with people. I can't figure that out to save my life. I
Oh,
added someone yesterday, but for some reason, it doesn't show up on their side on Skype.
uh,
So it's a bit of a mystery. Now, one thing I do
did you add?
realize is I'm not the one that created that room.
Yeah.
So
Who
perhaps
did
the
you
guy
add?
that created the room could put them in.
I don't know.
And it's something I'll have to sort out. So,
Who did you add?
excuse me, Andre. His name is
Oh,
Techie Two, I think. He's not there at the moment, but I did add him. Michael Hand posted some pictures, but I couldn't download them for some reason.
there
He was
is an
showing me
Andre in the room.
what it looked like on the DAX.
There is an Andre in the room.
Yeah, that's him.
Couldn't you see those pictures, Lou?
I see one of them. For some reason, they all didn't come out correctly.
Oh, I don't know why.
Um, um, yeah. Oh well, I can show you my Skype, and then you'll see what I mean. You see, I see the one picture, and then these two didn't turn out. Can you see my Skype?
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm going to open the one picture. Let me get this out of the way.
I think they're still using dial-up in the UK. Is that right, Michael?
Or
The-
the hand crank.
Yeah.
yeah, the donkey's a bit slow walking around the ring today. Yeah.
So this was his picture here of the DAX. And there's your, I'm assuming this was one crossover to enter long, and this was the other one here.
Yeah, this is your this is on 5 minute. I think you were saying it was for a 1 minute chart, but this is your what do you call it? Your Heiken 2.
Yes.
But I've found it almost impossible because whenever I've sort of looked at it, I'm thinking, oh yeah, we've got a red bar here and it's crossed over the 55, and the next one's confirmed it, and then you look and the bid line's like 30 to 40 points away from where the candle's
Well,
plotting.
in a runaway market, that will happen. And as I
Yeah,
mentioned, where you want to catch these is right in here, where at the top or at the
yeah.
bottom of these clusters.
I don't think I've ever seen a situation where they're all together to be able to catch them.
Oh, oh, let's take a look then. Okay, I'm glad you brought that up because, and again, just that I've been doing it a while. Oh,
Yeah,
this one you can't see the bid line here.
yeah,
This one's gone already, but right up
yeah,
here,
absolutely.
right up in here. Let's see if we can find a pair. Let's jump around a little bit. Well, the market's gone already, so you can't
Yeah,
really
yeah,
grab anything.
yeah. I'm doing an experiment at the moment,
Yeah,
changing the Heikin-Ashi smooth to the normal Heikin-Ashi candles to see whether I can get anything sort of that way.
yeah. You see, this one's pretty close right here. And if I put a regular candle on it,
Yeah,
you see, and this is where you'd want to get an entry if you could get one
yeah,
when they do bunch together.
yeah,
They did it here.
yeah.
They did it in here.
You know,
And
the problem is obviously what we're looking for is the candle color change to start with, isn't it? And then we're looking to see if it's below or above the 55.
right. Well, now this
And
particular
then generally
indicator does
speaking,
have an alert built in.
once you've got those two things, then the bid line's so far away, it's untrue.
Um. Oh boy.
But then we're kind of in sort of like almost runaway markets at the moment. So maybe
Yeah.
it'll be different, on sort of when we get back to a little bit of normality.
Yeah. I don't want to discourage you from working with it because once you get the hang of it, you'll see it's very, very. It's very clean to work with.
Hmm.
Um. Like I said,
Well,
like
it,
right now, it's.
well, it must be. You've only got to look at that chart and see the potential pips there were on that just on that chart you're showing now.
Oh, absolutely.
But, you need to get in. You need to have got in at the right level. That's the point. And
Well, Well, let's take a look at another way of looking at these types of candles. Let's look at the mean range bars. Same thing.
Yeah,
That's your entry there. That break is your entry. This break, as long as you're below this 89,
yeah,
that might be the 200 on this chart. That's the 89. So it's really the same thing. It's just a matter of which one can you see the best.
yeah,
You
yeah,
follow me?
yeah.
And this one produced, plenty. Not that much. What broke was this? That's 26 pips. That's nothing to scream about. But from here,
Yeah, from there all the way down. I mean, it's a hell of a drop, you know.
yeah. And now if we go and look at the regular Renko bars, same thing. We had almost an identical entry here,
Yeah, yeah,
same drop, and we had
yeah,
a re-entry here, a re-entry here.
yeah.
Actually had a re-entry here that would have been a stop out, but then another re-entry here.
And at least your bid line and your candle plot are in the same place.
Correct.
Mm.
Um, and now we have this is the regular Hankinashis.
Yeah, that's what I've been trying with. I've been sort of trying to do that one today, but I think it's been the wrong day to do it because it looks a no-brainer, but it won't be like that every day.
Well, correct. Well, I'll give you a tip now. 3 days out of the week, you usually get these nice runs.
Hmm.
So it's a matter of just being there every day, and you will get these nice runs at least 3 days out of the week on the major pairs.
Hmm.
Um, so here with the regular Hikanashi, the price and the candles do line up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, pretty much anyway.
Right.
Usually the bid line's somewhere around the wick, but at least it's relatively close, you know.
And you can see all of your pullback entries
Oh
here.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you don't even need to draw the lines. I
Well,
mean,
correct.
yeah,
Correct.
yeah, yeah.
And the other thing is, if it doesn't work for you, don't fight it. Find something else that does. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying, to be honest?
Yeah. Mm.
I show it because I know people that do very, very well with this Heikanashi Smooth.
Yeah, I've also found it's a bit CPU intensive. I don't know whether anybody else has found that, but
And that may be because of the version I sent you. Oh, you see how this changed color here?
yeah,
We were busy running our mouths, and this changed
yeah,
color, and
yeah.
this
But
would
we're
have been
below
your
the
entry long
55
here.
anyway. So
What was that?
I said we're still below the 55, aren't we? So we wouldn't really
Yeah.
take it anyway, would we?
No, but I wanted you to see how the
Yeah,
prices and the candles are
yeah,
close
yeah,
together
yeah,
near a color change.
yeah. So presumably the earliest we could enter there is when the bid line crosses the 55, really.
Correct.
Yeah.
Um, I'm glad you mentioned that.
Mm.
And if we put the regular candles here with the Heikanashi Smooth, you can see when you get the color change on the Heikanashi and you get a red regular bar,
Yeah.
that's a decent entry too.
Indeed it is. Yeah, that's like the old Harmer pad we were talking about the other day, isn't
Yes.
it?
You get a
Yeah.
regular red candle and a Heikanashi because you know this is where your bid and ask lines will be.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
another decent way to get into this.
Yeah.
Now, what is this box down here for? This box was a reversal. Oh, on the New Zealand dollar weekly. Ah, that's what this is. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me count these. Hang on. 10. Now remember uh that method with the 8 and 13 with
Oh, the Boris and Kathy thing, you mean?
yes.
Yeah.
And this box is the area where I expected we would hit the 10th or 11th candle, and it hit it on the 10th candle. So I'm still going to stalk this, looking for a long trade. All right. So let's assume
Well,
that
your
we get.
RSI2 is confirming it as well,
Oh,
really, at the moment.
absolutely.
Well, getting close to it anyway.
Well, it's absolutely below the 10.
Yeah.
So now we just need it to curl up.
You just wait for it to turn up. Yeah.
And if we only get 50% of this move,
Yeah.
just this move, we get only 50% of that, we're
A lot
talking,
of pips.
yeah, 400 pips.
Yeah.
So this is worth, and all you do is come back on Friday.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all you have to do. Come back on Friday. And you'll be looking good.
Mm.
All right. The other thing too with this MACD with the 24, you can also look at these MACD zero crossovers here in line with the Heikanashi also.
Yeah.
Stops may
Yeah.
be a bit wider.
Yeah.
And again, this is a weekly chart, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Um,
actually changed the I looked up some old stuff in the archives what I used to use because I haven't used MACD for years, and I found the one I used to use was 534.5.
oh, that's what I use on my 55 Blue. I've used that for years also.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
on my old 55. Let me see if I have a. Oh, I don't have a 55 Blue template on here, do I?
I shouldn't think so.
Um,
You mean a three? Do you mean a 3.3?
no, 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 no. I have another one called the
Oh,
55,
okay, a 5.5. I don't know that one.
where it's a 5 open and a 5 closed
Oh, okay, the
cross.
channel. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah, yeah,
Remember that?
yeah. Well, I know the channel. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know the
And
system.
I used to use that.
Uh-huh.
Um, okay, so just for regular scalping, I'm expecting to go long here on the pound dollar because yesterday's range was 90 and now we've done 188. I don't know what the news was last night. Okay. I need to look at this particular block of time too. Oh, this is that block of time that Tony Lewis was talking about at 6:55. Oh, no, that's let me just see what this is. That's 9 to 9:15. I'll experiment with that. But I'm looking for long trades here today. Okay, even though we're well below this 89, if I
Yeah,
look at the daily candle, I don't have to go to the daily chart.
yeah.
Um, I'm expecting to make a bottom wick here. You follow me?
Uh-huh.
But I won't take a long trade until I see price go up, pull back, and fail to make a new low. If it
Yeah.
fails to make a new low, then I want to scalp that leg up.
Even though it's below the 89.
Correct.
Yeah.
'Cause that would be the only thing to trade
Hey Lou,
today.
isn't that
Go
good
ahead.
morning, Lou?
Yeah, good morning,
Isn't
Hon.
that a huge that candle, right? That's the last candle.
This
That's a
is the
huge
no, no, no,
sell
no,
off,
no.
right?
This is an indicator, Andre. What this is the daily
Oh,
candle, and I have it showing on the 5-minute chart. Did you understand that, Andre?
yep, makes perfect sense.
Okay,
Yeah,
this is the
makes
daily
perfect sense.
candle just being shown on the 5-minute chart, and I'll show you what this is. I'm going to go to the daily candle on the pound dollar, and you see, look what it looks like. Huge candle with a little wick on the top and bottom. So instead of me
Yep,
having to jump to another chart, I have it on here. That's the exact same candle.
yep,
I can just see it here. And
nice.
in some of the earlier lessons from candle theory, the first thing that happens when a candle forms in a down market is it makes the upper wick. The last thing that happens is it makes the lower wick. So I would expect, or I would like to see a bottom wick. I don't know that I'll get one or not. If if I get a close below this low, then I'll take another short. Do you follow me, Andre?
Gotcha.
Anytime you turn the chart on, every single
Oh,
time
I'm
you have
sorry.
to ask
Yeah, I
yourself,
got it.
you're talking to the missus back there?
No, no, I'm sorry. I was talking to you. I was saying, yeah, I
Yeah.
got it. That makes sense.
So every time you turn the chart on, you have to have a game plan. What am I going to do? What do I need to see to take a long trade? And what do I need to see to take a short trade? You follow me? So that's my
Yep,
game
makes
plan.
perfect sense.
To take a short trade, I need to see a close below this low so I know the downtrend is still in effect. To take a long trade, since we've already eaten up the entire previous day's range, and we know from past history, once you eat up the entire day's range, price turns around. And it goes back usually to the 50% level. In this case, that would be right here. So I'm going to mark this right here. And we've seen this hit
Interesting.
time and time and
Interesting.
time again.
And even in this Greek market, where it's not about normal trading scenario, but more default management, you think it'll still pop back that much?
Yeah, because Greece isn't the only currency in the world, and there are people that still have to sell yen to buy lug nuts for cars, and there are banks that still have to make transfers for mergers and all kinds of stuff. So there's a lot of actual business of forex that still has to go on. You
Right.
follow what I'm saying?
Yep.
And
That
they're
makes
still
perfect.
talking in Greece. So we don't know yet. There's some talking head. Somebody came out and said something yesterday. All right, and look at this beautiful price trap up here. I'm sorry,
Yeah, yeah.
I
They
wasn't able to see
decided
this.
not to leave him out.
Yeah,
Wow, that's great. Now,
look at
what
that
time
price
was that in
trap.
the morning? What time was that? Our
That was
time.
2:15 in the morning. Two. You see down here these numbers at the bottom?
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
U.S. That's New York time.
Nice.
Because
Oh, I
I
need
get,
that indicator.
yeah, I
Yeah.
just can't. Someone says it's 8 o'clock GMT in Tokyo. What time is it in London? Oh, don't even. The smoke starts to come out of my ears. So I just made an indicator so I can see what my local time is, and that's how I work it out. All right. So as far as our,
Nice.
our trading, this is what I'm looking for. So I've got, these couple of candles. Here's my pullback now forming. See that? So I want to see if we're going to crack below this low. And the distance from here to the low is only 5 pips. Okay, well, it's actually 8 pips. So if I take off 2.5 or 3 for the spread, I might make 5 pips. If you get
Do
what I'm
you do a
saying.
straddle a technique where you basically straddle that box and you have a limit order if it goes above the box and the sell
Yeah,
order if it goes below the
yeah.
box to
I have
automatically trade
robots
you
that
in?
do that, and I do it manually also.
Okay.
Yeah, Lou,
Now,
Lou, while you're on that, sorry, while
this
you're on that
box,
chart,
Andre? Oh, I'll come back to you in a second, Mike.
okay.
Andre, this box represents the first 3 hours of the New York session. That's what this box represents. Okay? So I don't trade a breakout of the box because as long as this session is in play, if prices continue to go down to the bottom of this gray box, the box will get bigger. Do you understand me on that?
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, that's just the
Okay.
first
So
3 hours.
so you didn't draw the box. That's the indicator
The
that
indicator
the
drew the
first three
box for
hours.
me. And I had a
Gotcha.
London box here, but I changed it because we were looking at some possible breakout times. And that's what that little blue box is. Let me go to a different um, scenario here. Oh, I don't have regular candles. Okay, I'll do it with this one. This blue box is the first 3 hours of London. This gray box is the first 3 hours of the US. Now, because these are Renko bars, they don't display the time correctly because Renko bars are not based on time. But the yellow box is the first 3 hours of Asia. The blue box is London. The gray box is the United States. So that's what those boxes represent.
Gotcha.
Okay. On a regular candle chart, they're all the same width, but Renko bars will
Yep.
display them differently.
Uh,
Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, Lou, what I was going to say was I've just got to pop out in a minute, but that little blue box you got there was, I think, what you put in for what was known as the Big Ben trade. But that blue box needs to be
Over here.
2 o'clock to 3 o'clock New York time.
Yep. Let me change that now. 2 o'clock in the morning.
It needs to be 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock.
So that's 9 to 10.
Well, it's in English time. It's 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. It's Frankfurt Open to London Open.
Right. So in New York, it would be 2 a.m.
In New York, it will be 2 a.m.
Right.
Yeah,
So
2 a.m.
this
to
is 2
3
a.m.
a.m.
right here. And on my broker, that represents 9 o'clock on the broker.
Right. Okay. Well, I don't know about the broker. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. But it needs to be 2 a.m. to 3 a.m. New York time.
okay. So let me just change that. So that's 9 to 10 on the broker. So let me fix that. I actually like this one also,
Yeah. Well,
but that's another. We can
Okay.
experiment with that. Oh, that's the wrong indicator.
Hey, Mike, are you in London?
Yes, sir.
Oh, what time is
What
it
time
now?
is it?
It's
Yeah.
13:48 here.
Oh, so wait a minute. Let me see something here. If it's 13, wait, you don't have a clock that has 13 on it. Don't make my life more difficult.
Yeah,
I
my
think it's
computer clock
quarter to
says
two in the afternoon.
13:48.
So if your
It's
clock
2
is
in the afternoon.
okay, so if
It's
your
2.
clock
Yeah.
is
So, Lou,
13, yeah.
yeah. So, how I was taught about that was since we're from 1 to 1 to 12, anything after 12 becomes PM. So at 12, it's noon for them. I'm sorry, right? And then you just subtract 12 from whatever. So if it's 13, you get that
We
number.
use a 24-hour clock here mostly.
I didn't know that. I had no idea you did that. I thought you had a regular
Just like
12-hour clock.
the airlines do. Yeah,
Ah, gee, I didn't know that. Okay, so you're telling me it's 1,500 hours a week, 1,300.
13:49.
So this broker right now is 1549.
Yeah,
So
so they're
this broker is
2 hours
minus
over UK time. Yeah,
this broker is minus two.
for UK. Yeah,
Okay, so see that helps me out quite a bit. This
yeah,
broker is minus two.
yeah.
Okay. Oh wow.
I'll say that blue box. You just have to move it over to 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock New York time, and you're fine. And that then represents Frankfurt Open to London Open
Okay, so that would be 9 to 10.
on your broker time. Yeah,
Right. So okay, let me just fix that.
yeah,
Great.
Now, okay, now I want you to see, I don't know what this candle's going to do, but you see we have the push up, then the pullback,
yeah,
and we may not make a new low.
yeah,
So that, and we could get a 1, 2, 3, which is
yeah.
will tell us that it's going to go long. But indicator list, let me just fix this. And it's funny. It's something I should very, very well be aware of with the time and all that. It's just something I've never been able to, or I haven't yet mastered it. Okay, so this is 9 to 10. That's that 1 hour spot.
Yeah, that's the Big Ben one. Yeah,
There it is.
yeah.
Okay, and the
That was
breakout.
a lovely trade today, wasn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
Right, I've got to
Absolutely.
pop out
And
for
there's a
about
price
half
trap
hour.
on the bottom here, Lou.
Yeah, I see it. But the key here is I'm
Yep.
waiting to see how the price action is going to go. If this is a price trap, it'll still be a price trap at the end of this candle.
Gotcha.
Um, Let me go down to a 1 minute. Just take a look at that down there. See, at the 1 minute, we got the 1, 2, 3 already. You see, we failed to make the new low,
Hmm.
and we have these candles should have gone down here to keep the downtrend going, and it may not happen. And you can clearly see the wick on the daily, the bottom wick on the daily chart forming. So let's go back here and see what's going on. Okay, so now let's look back at this in time, this London breakout box. I want to squeeze this box in a little bit tighter just for my own sake. And I'm going to go 9 to 9:15. I just want to see something. And this isn't going anywhere. So 7 to 9 is the London breakout. Oh no, 9 to 10, 2 a.m. to 3 a.m. New York time is how you're doing London breakout. Let me put a label on this.
I think Mike called it the Big Ben trade.
Yeah, it is called Big Ben. I have a bunch of PDFs, all very similar. And I put the label in there. Okay, 2 a.m. to 3 a.m. Big Ben. This is going to shift and move, but just so I know what's going on here. So now I want to do this from 8:55 to 9:15, and then we'll get into what I wanted to talk about today. I want to talk about grid trading. Again, we're looking at next week. We're going to be looking to do 100 pips a week. And I'm going over different systems that will allow that to happen.
Cool.
Okay, so this should be 8:55 to 9:15. Now, the reason I do that is that I want to get the smallest stop loss I can on the breakout. So that looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. That looks pretty good also. We got stopped here, but I would take the reverse trade. That looks pretty good. Again, that looks pretty good. I'm assuming to stop at the back of the box. That looks pretty good also. I just need to work out a trend. Okay, I'll worry about that later. I can do that in my spare time. That looks good. All right, I'll have to experiment a little bit with this.
It's tough at that time because mostly there is no trend.
Well, that's the idea. You want to catch it as it gets out of that low. You
Oh, I
got
see.
me?
And just ride it then for
Right,
instead of just going 1 to 1.
right.
Okay.
So the majority of these would have been winners. Certainly better than 60%.
Yeah, that's cool.
All right, but I'll come back to I'll set this at 2 to 3 a.m. again for Big Ben. All right, so we're still watching this now to see if anything's going to occur. So I just want to see prices get below here and then pull back. If prices get below this point and then pull back, then I'll take another short because MACD is still short here. Okay, but until I'm sure, I don't want to risk anything because you're paid to wait. That's where the money is. And again, from here down to here, do I have 10 pips? No. So even if I get to this double bottom, there's not enough in this double bottom to give me 5 pips. You follow what I'm saying?
Yep.
All right. So let's talk about grids today. One of the grids that I really enjoy working with is a 100 pip grid. All right. And by that, these green lines are all 100 pips apart. And you'll notice this is the pound dollar. I usually like to do this on pound Aussie, pound yen, the pairs that are really volatile. And I look to trade from one 00 to the next 00. Okay. And I'm also willing to take a couple of shots at these levels with the understanding that the trade may stop out. But the reward is really nice when you get one because your stops are going to be minimal. All right, everyone with me on that so far? Now that's my philosophy on it. I'm not saying it has to be yours.
Can you repeat the stops are going to be minimum?
Yeah, well, we didn't get into entries yet. But I just want you to see, if you look at these green lines, they're the 00 mark, and you see how price just obeys them over and over and over again. See that? Price absolutely obeys these 00 levels. All right? See that down here? You see here we pin barred at it and then came back to the next 00, made a pin bar long. I just want you to look at this. Oh, do you guys have this indicator? That's the other thing. Probably not. I would have. Well,
No, I don't.
Drop it in the room just to. Let me do that now, because I'll start talking. Open data folder, MQL, indicators, and I need to make a modification on this. Which one is this that's in here? Just regular grid builder. Okay, so I'll give you the regular grid builder. And I'll drop that in here. Okay, that's in the room now, so you guys can grab it later. Now, the lines by default are green. And if you wanted to change them to a different color, you actually can't the way the indicator is made. I have to ask Rob to make that a variable if he could. And I'll get to him with that in the meantime, a bit later. Okay, so the idea is I want to trade from one 00 level to the next 00 level. Okay, every opportunity I get, I want to trade from one 00 to the next 00. All right. Now, this goes into a specific candle type. One of the easiest trades to do is a very specific candle type, and it's a full extension candle. All right. Now, what I mean by that is that at some point, this candle was completely extended when it hit this line, and it had no wick at the top. You follow me? It hit this right there, and it was a full, complete candle when it hit that line and didn't go past it. Once it creeps back down a couple of pips, I want to go short right there. And my target is back here at the 00 level. In this case, it would be about, let's say, 90 pips for argument's sake. You had the same phenomena here, where at one point this was a solid candle that touched it. When we see these charts after the fact, we always think, oh, if I get a wick to touch the 00, I'll take the trade short or long. But in reality, you never see the wick. It's a very, very important thing to keep in mind. All you see is this full candle. Do you follow me on that, guys?
Yep.
All right. So in this case, what I'm looking for is for this black candle to make a full candle right down here to 5,400. And if it touches that 5,400, I'll wait for it to pull back a couple of ticks, go in short, and put my stop just behind the 5,400, no more than 15 pips. And my target will be the other side, which will be 100 pips. Now, it won't be a 100 pip trade, because if I put my take profit at the 1,500, you follow me? I've eaten up 8 or 10 pips waiting for an entry. You with me on that?
Okay, I was kind of...
I'll explain it again.
Okay.
If this candle becomes a long, solid candle, and as a solid candle touches this 5,400, I want to go long right here.
Okay.
All right. I'll let the candle come and touch the 5,400, let it go back a couple of ticks, and then I'll enter the trade here with a 15 pip stop. All right. Now I'm explaining it. Now the only thing with this, that would be the entry, because I'm saying this because it's in real time. The only thing with that I would be a bit cautious about is the fact that we are below our moving average and all prices are dropping down right now. You got me? So this may blow right through this 54 and come all the way down here. But I'm just explaining to you the type of entry I'd be looking for. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. And more than likely, this may make a bottom wick. All of these big candles on this daily chart have made some sort of a bottom wick. You see there, you see there, you see there, and it doesn't look like a lot, but this bottom wick was 60 pips. This bottom wick was 60 pips. All right, this bottom wick was 25 pips, we'll call it. So I want you to get the idea that it will make a bottom wick at the very least, or at least I would like to see it do that. Okay, that's one way of entering this type of trade. Okay, the next way of entering a grid trade, as I like to call it, are with conditional candles. Now, does anyone remember the definition of a conditional candle, as I like to describe it?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay, so can I just point?
Oh, let me give you control. I'm sorry. Okay, you got it. Let me get
All
rid of
right.
this.
Well, okay. So over here, price is headed up. Now, this wouldn't necessarily be where you'd be looking for a short, but anyways, price here is headed up. Now we have a down candle that closes at least 50% into the real body of the previous candle.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. That's what I like to look for. And my profit target will be 100 pips on that. My split will be at the 50 line at the double zero.
Can you repeat the conditional candle?
Go ahead, Daryl. You did a good job. I mean, yeah, Daryl, go ahead.
Yeah.
All
Can you
right,
repeat the conditional candle?
Yeah, so Andre, well, actually, yeah, okay, so this is a good example, although,
Yeah,
okay,
use
anyway,
that.
conditional candle, we have an up market. Now we have this candle right here, which ends up going the opposite direction, and it closes at least 50% into the real body of the previous candle.
Do you understand that, Andre? Andre?
Yes, that makes perfect sense. It closes 50% into the previous candle.
At least, yeah.
Okay, now, Andre, I'm going to give you control. I want you to find a couple of them on the same chart. Oh, wait a minute. I can't give you control for some reason. Oh, let's try now.
I'm on my iPad.
Oh,
So I
okay, okay. So it won't work correctly.
don't think it will let me do it.
All right. Does anyone else want to point out?
Yeah, so tomorrow.
Yeah, well, tomorrow, yeah, you can. We'll do the laptop or whatever you need to do. Okay. Does anyone else want to try pointing out a couple of conditional candles? Dennis, you want to try it?
Conditional candles.
I'm going to give you control, Dennis.
Yeah. Okay.
And let me just. That was excellent, Daryl. That was excellent.
I know.
So, what's the definition first of a conditional candle?
At least 4 candles in the same color. Or am I wrong?
That's not a conditional candle.
Um,
Tell me what that specific candle has to do.
I'm not sure.
Okay, no problem. I'll go over it again. Because this is
Can I
important.
try the definition?
Hang on a second. That was Dennis. I just want to get the keyboard back, the mouse back. All right. A conditional candle exists anytime you have at least 2 candles of one color, and it's followed by a candle of the opposite color. And that opposite color candle in this case closes more than 50% deep into the body of the prior candle. Okay, here's a good example right here. We have at least 2 white candles, followed by a black candle, and the close of this black candle down here is more than 50% deep into the prior candle's body.
Okay.
Here's another one where we have at least 2 white candles, followed by a black candle, and the black candle closes more than 50% deep into the prior candle's body. Let me take this indicator off the chart just so we can see this a bit more clearly. And let me take the moving average off because with the conditional candles, you don't worry about the moving average so much. So if I were to put a fib on this white candle, you see where the 50% mark is right here. Okay?
Yeah.
And I should have put the fib on the body of the candle. My apology. Let me just fix that. The fib should go on the body, and you see where the 50% mark is right there. That's the halfway point of the body of the candle. So let me just mark that. That's the halfway point of the body of the candle. And this is, I have the recorder on. Just let me double check. Yeah. So if this candle closes below the halfway point of the body of the previous candle, it's what I call conditional. In the other books, they call it bearish harami, bearish engulfing. There's a bunch of other names for it.
Yeah. Okay.
I just like that name, okay, because
Yeah.
it just works for me. And
Okay.
remember, you got to make trading fit you. You got it? So even if you change the names or come up with some other weird stuff, as long as it works for you, that's much more important. It's much more important to me that you're profitable than having correct grammar. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Now, the other thing with these conditional candles is that they work very, very well when they're at a location. When they're at a location on the chart that makes sense. Okay?
Okay. Yeah.
So now when I go back here and I put my grid indicator back on, and oh, by the way, I have to get this fixed also. This was made before they put on that extra digit in Forex. So if you want a 100 pip grid, you have to type in 1,000. Okay? And I think I have one that does it the right way. I just got used to this tool. So what I want you to see now is every time we've had a double spike at a double zero and we had a conditional candle, look what happened.
Yeah.
Okay? Double spike, conditional candle, look at the market. Double spike, conditional candle, look at the market. Okay? We only had one spike here. This was pretty close. I would be cautious with this. I'd keep my stop tight and make my lot size smaller, but it was a conditional candle after a bounce off a double zero. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
Now we go up to the top. This is a spike. This is a conditional candle because the doji is neutral. But this doji is what kind of candle? Look at the body of the doji is where?
Inside bar.
Yeah, it's an inside bar, and that was very good, Dennis, I believe.
Yes.
Okay, that's good. It was an inside bar, but the particular thing that I like to talk about is the fact that the body of this candle was inside this wick. It's
okay.
inside the wick. The body of this doji is inside this wick. That's a warning candle to me. Now, this is called an abandoned baby. It's called the pregnant something. It's got a bunch of names when you read the candlestick books. But what I see that they don't point out is that the body of this candle is inside the wick. That, to me, is a warning that price is about to turn around. And then after that, I get a wick on the same double zero, and it comes right back down and makes a conditional candle. You see that?
I understand that.
All right. Here's a conditional candle long right here. Okay. Double.
Yeah.
Now we had a spike here. We had a conditional candle long here, but the conditional candle formed under the 56, not over it. You see how this one formed over it? Indicating a long. You got me?
Yeah.
All right. And right now, this is forming a conditional candle. You see that to this? Now, we don't have two white candles, so that breaks the rule a little bit, but I want you to get the concept. And as we go back over this chart, you'll see this phenomena over and over and over again. Okay? Now, in here looks a little sloppy, and I don't know what was going on there at that moment. But you got your hit here, but you have a conditional candle here short after this bounce off this area. This trade may not have worked out. And you won't get all of them. But with enough charts, looking at enough charts, you'll really, really be in good shape. I hear a question. No?
Question? For me?
No. I thought I heard someone asking me something.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So those are the two ways that I look at entering these trades. I like to see a solid candle go all the way up and touch this line as a solid candle. I wait a few minutes to let it dance around, see if it's going to go any higher, and then if it starts to creep back underneath this double zero, an aggressive entry would be a short here about 10 pips below after it's touched the line, and then I'll have about no more than a 15 pip stop, and my take profit is the next double zero. Got it? So my take profit may only be 85, 65, 75 pips. All right. The second way I like to enter these is after conditional candles where I have two taps at the double zero. At the close of this candle, I've got tweezer tops here. Okay. So my entry is right there. Depending on the lot size I want to use, my stop would go up here. Now that 60 pips looks enormous, but remember you're on a daily chart. That's not a real dramatic, stop on a daily chart. And then your next take profit, you can split it here at that and then hold on to the rest until you get your 100 pips. Okay? Or, and again, this is more advanced, since we've had all of these bars in one direction, you put your fib on, and what happens after we make it an extended run? Where does price like to go?
To the 50.
To the 50. So you can hold on after you split the trade or move your stop up to break even after your 40 pips in profit or 50 pips, or after your 50 pips in profit, move your stop loss up to break even plus 10, and that gives you a 40 pip float. And the worst that can happen is you get stopped out, but they got to pay you.
Yeah.
I like that scenario. So here you can hold on until you get to the 50. Same scenario down here. And I may be going a little fast. I just realized that. I get excited sometimes because I've made good pennies with this. Same thing down here. You had the double tap. You had now the aggressive entry would be here. Wait to see if it makes a wick, and then 10 pips after it comes back above the 52 level, you enter here long. Is one way of doing it, and then you want your take profit there. Okay, at the double zero, or split the trade. Or when you get to that, move your stop loss up to break even plus 30 or 40 pips. You got me? Move your stop loss up to break even plus 40. So if the trade comes back, they pay you 40 pips for the privilege.
That means you won't enter on the black candle?
Say that again, please.
Or do you wait until the black candle is closed and you enter on the next candle?
Oh, no. Well, what I'm talking about right now are aggressive entries.
So you enter on the black candle.
Correct. Once the black candle touches this as a solid candle, I wait to see if it's going to make a wick and come back. Okay, if it comes back below this 57, this 5200 in this case, if it comes back above that, then I'll let it get 8, 10 pips away, and I'll enter right in here someplace long.
Okay.
Did you follow me?
Yeah.
That would have been the same. Well, this is not a solid black candle. This is a normal candle. But I like to see like a really extended candle with a short wick on the other side. Like this would have been a great candle because it's got a short wick on the top. There was massive momentum short. It tapped it right there. When it comes back a couple of ticks, I'm in right in here. And then my first take profit is this double zero. Or I move my stop loss up and lock in X number of pips. Okay?
Yeah.
The alternate way would be after you get a pin bar, after you get a strike at a double zero, the conservative entry would be to wait for the next candle and see if the next candle will be a conditional. Okay, so now this goes into what's your risk profile, how much danger are you willing to accept, yada, yada, yada. You know what I'm saying? What kind of lot size you're working with. Okay. Those are the two primary things that I like to look at the 00. Now, again, we're talking daily charts here. The strategy changes when you get down to a lower time frame if you want to do the same thing, and I'll explain that to you in a minute. Also, when I get down here, I like to sniper trade. So I'm going to use this candle as an example. I'm going to mark the candle, okay, and I've already got what this is 5,400. So now I'm going to go down to like a 15-minute chart, and let me see, find my line. There's my line. Let me squeeze this in a little bit. And there's 5,400. So now when price gets down here, I want to see one of my entry signals. It could be an 1889 long. It could be a 3x3. It could be a roller coaster trade. It could be a an RSI 2 trade. You get me?
Twin Tower?
So when price gets down here at this cross point, okay, that's the daily candle. When price gets to this 5,400, I know that that's that target area that I want to take a trade in.
Oh, okay.
All right, so then I'll look for any one of my favorite entries, and then I'll take that entry and take it long because I may be able to get into the trade with a smaller stop rather than use a stop based on a daily chart. You follow me with that, guys? And we're going to try to find a couple of these because I just happen to like them. It makes life easy. Now, the other thing that happens on a smaller time frame, when you get near these 00s, with the exception of the daily chart, prices don't tend to sit and stall out at 00s on daily and 4-hour charts. On 30-minute, 1 hour, and down, you will get things like a price trap at a 00. You will get a range-bound market at a 00 on the lower time frames. Because remember, on a higher time frame, all of this is just the wick of one daily candle. Do you follow me on that? Let me open this up and you'll see what I mean. That whole thing I drew was this wick.
Mm-hmm.
You get me? That was this wick from here to this wick. All of that nonsense that we saw down on the 15-minute. So all of that is just the wick on that higher time frame. All right? Do you guys see that? And we'll go over this again a couple of times. Okay? Also, on the lower time frame, you can get back into some of the regular patterns that we talked about, especially if you want to trade a grid. So in this case, we have a nice wedge here. I'll draw it this way. Dominant close. Everyone agree with that wedge? This is the dominant close on the bottom, and look at all the candle wicks that pierced it, but never closed below that low. Am I going too fast? Okay, I don't hear any response, so I'm just going to assume everything's okay. Oh, wow, Rob, you're fast. Shit. Were you able to make the color an adjustable thing, Rob? Where we could adjust the color of the line? I just looked at the Skype chat. I didn't realize that you did that fast. And Rob, Rob's not saying anything, so okay, I don't know. But let me go back to this. Again, if we're going to work a grid, I shouldn't call it, well, I'm going to call it a grid because that's what works for me. If we're going to work this 100 pip grid, as we have this wedge here, and again, how do we confirm a wedge? Well, there's several ways to confirm it. The only one I taught yesterday was with the RSI, so I'll stick with that for now, but I'll teach you another way to confirm it, an RSI 8. So here we have our break above the wedge. See that? and we have our two dominant points right here and right here. And then at this break above the wedge, you could see that we've clearly closed above the trend line break on the RSI 8. Okay, your target at that point could be this 00. You can split it. You can hold on, to go for more if you want, but it gives you a decent logical target to aim for. All right. As I mentioned, some of the other things you'll see, like we've got a price trap up here. Let me fix this. Come on. You've got this price trap here anyway. I'm trying to get the candles to act right. All right, you could take the break of this price trap and absolutely target the 100-point mark. Once you get below here, I prefer to see the price traps, sitting right on top of the 00. But I'll take that one. I won't run away from it at all, because your stop loss compared to your 100 pip take profit is minimal. If you got a 20 pip stop and you're looking for 100 pips, you're looking at 5-to-1 risk reward ratio. Okay, so when you have these grids out here and you see price approaching a grid, you can go, when you see price approaching a 00 level, you can go down to a lower time frame and pick any one of your favorite entries. It doesn't have to be any of the stuff that we've gone over here. If you've got a favorite entry that you really like, go with that. Okay, but wait for price to get to the level first and then look for that. Ideally, you'd like to stay with the trend if at all possible. Now here we currently have an uptrend based on the trend line, but we've just broken that trend line. Okay, so this could certainly come back down in this area here. We've already passed the 50% level, but I don't have anything to do until price actually gets to this 00, to this 5400. So I'm way ahead of the game. I can think this through carefully when price gets there. I can see what kind of formations occur, and I can have a game plan to take advantage of this. And I've got nice profit targets out here that price loves. The market loves moving to these 00 levels. All right. Does anyone have a pair that we can look at with the same premise? Okay, nobody's saying anything.
Okay, I'll pick Euro Yen.
Euro Yen.
Is that a pain for you?
No. It's just that the fact that I'm trying to really get this information out and nobody's saying anything, and I don't quite understand why, because at least I can adjust what I'm doing to fit it. Well, again, Euro Yen, we got a tap here at 00, conditional candle. A tap up here at 00, conditional candle. We got a doji down here and a conditional candle. This is not quite conditional. That's pretty close, but not quite. This one is close, but this wick needs to get up closer to the 00. You like to see the two wicks. You get me? Here's a double hit here and a conditional candle. Okay, here's what I call the warning candle. Dennis, the body of this candle is inside this wick.
Yes.
You see that, Dennis?
Yes. Yeah.
That now there's a bunch of names for it in the other books, but this is a warning that this may turn around because the body of this candle is inside this wick. Okay, and then we've got a double tap here, and then this closes right at the 100. That's a nice short trade there. Okay, again we've got the double tap here, conditional candle. This closed 50% just about into the body of the prior candle at the 00.
Lou, the lowest low there on the kind of right side of the screen right there doesn't quite touch double zero, how would you handle that?
Oh, well, I'm looking at where these candles closed and opened in relation to the double zero. You see that?
Okay. Yeah. Oh, all right. All right.
Right, because they never really got to the other double zero, and they never really got much farther than this area anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have this momentum candle, but I'd be in this trade already. But you see this momentum candle is a long wick, and the candle closed closer to its high than it did to its center. That's an indication that the next candle is going to go in that direction also.
Mm-hmm.
In this case, this candle closed closer to its low than it did to the middle. That's an indication that the next candle will go in that direction. Here again, this candle closed closer to its low than it did to its middle. That's an indication that the next candle may go in that direction. Okay, I call these momentum wicks. And they're dragonfly dojis is another name for it. Depending on where this candle is, it could be a dragonfly doji, it could be an evening star, it could be a reversal candle. But when I looked at the charts and looked at what happened around these double zeros, these are the things that I see.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
All right. And it's just simple observation. We got a double tap here, conditional candle short. Double tap here, conditional candle short. And when you look at where these two highs are, and then this closes back underneath this level, I'm going to take that down to the next level here. It's about 70 pips. And usually price moves more than the 100 pips, by the way. But I'm just using that first 100 pip marker as a reference point. Did you follow me on that? Double tap right here, conditional candle long. And this you'd have to trade into the middle of the box. You could certainly get your 100 pips on the other side, because most of these moves tend to go at least 200 pips or better. But for this exercise and for what I want to show you today, I'm just sticking with the 100 pip point. Okay? You want to look at another pair?
There's a couple of suggestions in the box.
Oh, shoot. I haven't read the chat. I'm sorry. Oh, Nancy, I'm so sorry. Oh, hey, and Mike, I'm sorry. I didn't see the chat. Regular. Oh, Ron, we're not having regular sessions on Mondays just yet, just because of the Greek news over the weekend and everything. I wanted to have a quick session just to talk about a couple of things and lay out what we wanted to do the rest of the week. Okay, Ron? So we're going to be covering this stuff the rest of the week and still looking for a trade on the pound dollar, which, oh, there we go. See, this is kind of what I mean. We didn't get the new low. See that? See that? That's exactly what I drew. Exactly what I drew. The low pullback, which was these candles. The push back down, we failed to make a new low. So this is an indication that this puppy may go long. All right? But you see what I mean by thinking ahead of the trade? That's what I meant. You draw out what you want to see, and if you see that, good. Then you jump on it. Let me go back to this. Okay, so so I apologize, Nancy and Mike. I didn't see the chat. I was okay. Mike is saying dollar yen. Let's take a look at dollar yen. Thank you for that, Mike. Mike, you don't have a microphone? USD JPY.
Yeah, I have one. I just keep it. I'm just trying to stay back and pick up what I can.
All right, no problem.
Just not.
Is this helpful to you?
Not yet. I'm just such a mess and so confused. I don't really know what it is. Just a total loss.
Okay, well,
my mental stuff is getting much worse, which is hard to do.
Well, it's a work in progress, Mike.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, this is one trade here that would not have worked out. We've got the double tap at the double zero. This one didn't quite make it, but you have this conditional candle. And remember, at one point, this was a solid bar all the way up here. This was a solid black bar. That would be where I'd want to take that entry. I'd let it creep up a little bit, and then if it came 10 pips underneath or so, I jump in here, and my target would be this first 00 level. Everyone see that? Same thing here. We have a
It would have
tap,
been
tap.
white.
What was that, Rob?
It would have been a white bar once it
Yeah.
was above that close. So when it was solid, it would have been white, and then once it dipped back below
Oh,
the
yes, yes,
close.
yes, yes. Absolutely correct.
Another comment I thought of is that with this method, you know, it'd be a lot easier to compare notes in the evening. We could get on the chat and say, hey, we got the first candle off the 00. Let's see what this next one does, and then we could discuss entries and be a lot less frenzied. And then, you know, people like Mike and I could, you know, have a chance to get on some good trades and just on a slower pace. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I completely agree. That's why I mentioned I wanted to be able to look at this as a group because I can't see everything. And I have the stuff that I look at for my own trading, but in teaching, it would be good that we could do these longer term trades because we can catch them all together.
Yeah.
So I totally agree with you there.
I've
Completely
missed
agree.
most of our sessions, the last few sessions. When you get up at 7, man, when I get up at 3, my daily routine works out really well. But when I get up at 6 or 7, the day gets away from me really fast.
Mm.
So.
Okay. Yeah, so what you were saying was correct. This would have been a white candle right here, and I would tag that right there, let it go up, see if it comes back down 10 pips below that 00, then I take it short. Okay? And usually I like to let it go about 20 pips or so and then let it come back short again. Because there's no rush. There's never, ever, ever a rush to get into a trade. We got the pin bar here, momentum bar closed closer to its low than it did to its
Rewind.
Yeah, it closed closer to its low than it did to its center. High indication that the next bar is going in the same direction, which it did right here. Same thing here. Closed closer to its low than it did to its center. And it did it at a 00. I'm absolutely jumping on that next bar. Without a question. Do not pass go. Do not click the $100. I'm in it. Same thing here. Happened at the 00. You see that? Had this bar occurred in the middle here somewhere and never touched either 00, it's useless like this one. This is useless. Now this is the current candle, but you see what I mean? It's not at either extreme. So there's no value in this one, even though right now it's closer to the low than it is to its center.
That's a hanging Chad.
Oh, okay. I have to talk to Jeb about that. Get some pointers from him. But here we have a couple of candles sitting at the 00, which is kind of unusual, but we get that conditional candle. Okay. Let me roll back a bit. And I just want you to see the same patterns I showed you. They're all over here, over and over and over. Double tap, conditional candle. Okay. A warning candle. This whole candle body is inside that wick. Next bar is likely to go in your direction. All right. Again, we got these double taps, but they're not at the extreme, so they're basically useless. No information in here. You get me?
Okay.
I like to see it hit the extreme and then give me something. So here we hit the extreme, conditional candle long. We hit the extreme, conditional candle long, conditional candle short, warning candle that the next bar is likely, and it's a warning candle that tapped the 00. The one I showed you over here didn't tap anything.
Since we're using daily candles and my daily candles are different than everybody else's daily candles, how do you deal with that?
You work with your charting package and learn the nuances, because this will work no matter what. And the daily candles won't be that dramatically different. Okay, by the end of the day,
there'll be 100 pips difference with no problem at all.
Excuse me?
I mean, I can see 100 pip difference easily.
On your dollar yen is 100 pips difference than this one?
I can look at mine real quick here, but it just seems...
I can't see 100 pip difference in daily candles.
I don't even get the same number of daily candles.
Yeah, mine, I have a doji or a spinning top in between those two highest candles on your chart, Lou.
Here.
I have a a spinning top in between them, just a tiny.
Oh, that's a Sunday candle. Your broker may be giving you Sunday candles.
Oh, okay.
That's a Wanda.
Yeah.
Yep,
That's
I
Howland.
get Sunday candles, but since I have 5 different brokers, I get all of them are different.
Just
Okay.
download a demo of FXCM. They close at 5 o'clock New York.
Yeah, I have FXCM too.
We'll use that candle.
Yep, verified. It's a Sunday candle.
One of the problems I have with FXCM candles, though, is that the spreads are nuts. Just absolutely crazy.
Is it a live account or a demo account?
I have both.
Okay, your live account should have decent spreads. And as you see
It's-
by what we're doing with the scalping, we're using 3 pip spreads because the spread
My
doesn't scare me.
things with the FXCM that I have gets to be 30, 40 pips with no problem at all.
Oh, I wouldn't trade them at all. If you're getting 30, 40 pip spreads, are you sure it's
Shoot,
not
Wanda, I get
3.0?
150 pip spread sometimes.
Wait, are
It's
you sure
nuts.
it's not 3.0 and you're thinking it's or I can't
I-
understand 30, 40. Wait, can we take a
It
look at
depends
the
on
chart?
what time of day it is. If it's during the U.S. session, then no, the spreads are good. But if it's in the beginning of the day or the end of the day, Monday, Sunday, there are all kinds of crazy spreads.
I wouldn't doubt it. I don't trade FXCM with any large amount of money because I've seen too many things going on with their platform that I don't like. And they finally fixed one of the problems. I've sent them a bunch of pictures and emails. They never got back to me, but they basically fixed it. But the only advice I can give you is learn the nuances of your platform, and you should still be able to make money. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because if you start comparing everything to everything else, you will drive yourself insane.
I'm insane. I'm already beyond that.
Well, and it may be a short drive, but
I know. I reach that border every 5-10 minutes or so, it seems.
Yeah. But learn the nuances of your platform. Okay, can we look at let's look at another pair. I want you to see the same patterns over and over again. Can someone suggest another pair?
Aussie dollar.
Aussie dollar. Okay, let's take a look at Aussie dollar. Are there any questions? I know I may go too fast sometimes because I get kind of oh. I sound like a drug dealer. Oh boy.
Now this is a setup. We're looking at a daily candle, so there's absolutely nothing to do until 5 o'clock tonight. And then
No.
on top of that, we would wait another 7
No.
hours.
No. Hold up. This day isn't over. By the end of the day, this could be below this 00 level.
Right.
You got what I'm saying? So you
And
come
then
and
what-
look at it because you may be setting up for a trade. You know what I'm saying? Remember, this 00 has nothing to do with time.
Right.
Okay?
Now, if it closes below that 00, it means do nothing, or
No. What I'm saying is, as it approaches this 00, I'm going to see if it trades below it, makes a little wick, and if it comes back above 7,400. If this
that's
goes
on a daily candle.
a daily candle is what I'm looking at the moment because we're looking at daily charts. Then I want to go down to a lower time frame and try to pick off a trade going back the other way. You got me? Now, right now, we are in a really strong downtrend here. So this could continue shooting down. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Sort of.
Mike?
We're saying, okay, we got to watch this daily candle to see if it closes below the 00.
No, see how it reacts at the 00. Don't say that it's got to close below or close above because you bias your whole thinking the minute you say that. I want my premises, let me see how price reacts at the 00. How does it behave when it gets here? That's what I want to see. I don't want to pre-think anything. I don't want to say it's got to close or it's got to do this or it's got to do that. All I wanted to do is get to the 00, then I'll try to figure it out from there.
Now, with the RSI being down below, there's no way you would buy it, right?
No, the RSI has nothing to do with this. I shouldn't have had that up there. The RSI has nothing to do with this at all. Okay, but if I were looking to go long, I would look right here and I'd say, okay, let me try to grab a, a
But you
long
wouldn't do
scalp.
that on the daily candle. You would do that on maybe a 5 minute or a 10
Correct.
minute or
So I'll give you an example. I'm going to mark this candle right now, and I
right.
know my level is 7,400. 7,400. Now I'm going to go to a 15-minute chart. Oh, I got to open this back up again. And I squeeze this down. And I'm looking for that. Oh, you son of a gun. 7,400 didn't come down far enough. Oh, this I see on the lower time frame. It won't give me the other number. So I'll just drop a fresh line in. Let me change the color.
Find it right there right now. 7404, 5.
Yeah, just let me parameters. Um,
Leave it that color.
okay, that's 74. Now I want to see how price behaves. You got me? Let me see what it does down here. It could bounce. It could do all kinds of good stuff. I want to see what it does when it gets here. And that's all I'm looking at. Does that make sense, Mike? I'm not
Okay.
prejudging anything. I'm not saying it's got to close. I'm not saying it's got to do anything. The
Well, it
only
does have to get
requirement.
there before you do anything, right?
What's that, Mike?
It has to get there. If it goes to
Yeah.
7401, that's not good.
Oh, it's close enough if it gives me a good signal. You know what I'm saying? If I get a real good entry look or a real good setup, or if this goes into a price trap right here, you follow me? If it gives me something I can work with, it doesn't necessarily have to tap it, but this is the area that I'm looking for something to happen in. And keep in mind, the double zeros are called psychological numbers for a reason. Everybody in the world looking at Aussie dollar knows this 7,400 is here. All the bankers, all the brokers, all the hedge funds, all the big players, and they all have a strategy as to what they want to do when it gets to 7,400 because it's a psychological level. You've got some brokers are protecting this level. Some brokers are looking for bounces off this level. Somebody's looking for it to break through this level, and they all have orders placed at or around this number. All right. Let me go to a website here. Okay, I'm going to show you a website that I look at every now and then for news, but not for news for daily trading. I look for news around these important levels, and it's forexlive.com. Okay, and I don't see anything here for the Aussie dollar at the moment. But you'll see they'll mention things, and they're talking about Greece, which is the big deal at the moment. But I would come here and I just want to see, are they saying anything about the Aussie dollar because it's about to hit a key level? And you see here, pound dollar looking woeful as it breaks the 618 fib of the June move. And they're looking at really big macro things. And on occasion, a couple of these guys will point out that they'll say Bank of England is buying 500,000 euro at this price. And that may be helpful. Just something, it's forexlive.com. And that's the only thing I look at them for. Because a lot of these analysts, a lot of times they're just as wrong as everybody else. I stop paying attention to the experts and kind of trust my own eyes.
Yeah, plus their analysis is pretty monolithic. I mean, they're looking at one thing, because the fib says this, then blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah.
exactly, yeah. Yeah, it's a very myopic view of the market.
Yeah, better word, okay.
But if they had something that said Aussie dollar approaching a key level, they may say Bank of England is buying 6 million euro at this price. Well, then I take that into account. So you see here, all I'm doing now is just I'm doing what I'm paid to do, is sit and wait for something that makes sense.
Now this is one of these conditional candles going back up. So is it a reversal signal to buy it?
Not necessarily. I want to see if it's going to creep back here. I'm willing to let it sit for a minute because remember, my take profit, no matter what I do, let's just go up here. My take profit is going to be 75 pips once I get into this trade, or my hopeful take profit. So I'm willing to wait to let this dance around a little bit. What was that, Mike?
Just this more pips than I see in 6 months. It's crazy.
Yeah, but trust me, guys, we're going to catch a couple of these as a group. You just got to just trust and just let things unfold. What candle was that? Wow. Let me go back to the daily. Oh, that's this candle. Okay, that was the top of this candle. But you get the idea now, the type of thing I'm looking for. Got me? I like to see if something happens down here. Let's go take a look at another pair. I just want to go back to the pound dollar, and we didn't actually get a trade today, but
Nancy suggested the Kiwi dollar.
Oh, gee. Oh, New Zealand dollar. Okay. I'm just going back to the chat. Now, I apologize for not seeing it, guys. But, you know, I get kind of into this. Okay, New Zealand dollar. Let's just move this out of the way. All right, now on the New Zealand dollar now, we have a similar situation where we're approaching a 66 level. Okay, we're on the daily chart. And you see here we had the bounce off. We had the warning candle right here. See that? The body of this candle is inside the wick. We had a nice price trap here right at the 00. That's a monster when you can catch those. It makes all the rest of the stuff easy. Another price trap right here at the 00. Because see, all of these candles tap that 00 at the bottom. That's your price trap right there. That was nice. Another warning candle. The body of this candle inside that wick, and it happened at a 00. And I don't mean to sound like a broken record, but I just want you to see that the simple repeatable. We have a double hit here, not quite 50%, but it would make a good aggressive trade. Not quite 50%, but you see what I mean. The 3 candles up, and then we have the nearly conditional candle short. So you see the same patterns. All right.
It just seems like you're using the daily candle. I don't know.
Well, I'm using the daily candle because you get the biggest reaction at the 00. And because the 00 in this respect is fractal, every chart, when price gets to the 6,600, it will hit it on the 1 minute, the 5 minute, the 30, the 1 hour. So it's fractal. It doesn't matter that it's a daily chart. But I like using the daily charts because I can see candle formations that could give me larger potential moves. When I look at this on a 15-minute chart, on a lower time frame chart, you may not see the potential. You may not see the potential. You may not know how far this will go. You don't know that this move is going to go to the 100 if all you're looking at is the 15. You follow what I'm saying? But if you see what the formation is and what the pattern is on the daily, then you have a bit more confidence in taking the trade on the 15 and putting a take profit way out there because you're following the daily energy. Conditional candle. We had a tap on the thing and we had a conditional candle short. Okay, another conditional candle. We had a pin bar that closed closer to its low than it did to its center.
It always seems so easy when somebody's looking at charts that have already happened, and then when I'm looking at
Mike, I've been trading live for the last 3 weeks, and we've been having pretty decent success with the live trades, and that's not after the fact. It's just learning what to look for.
These daily candles?
No, I was trading on the 5 minute, which is actually more difficult.
I guess that's where people get so messed up on what system and what setup or what time frame or anything like that to use that I'm always in a state of confusion.
Hopefully that will clear up for you. But I
So
do,
too.
I know, but I do trade live because I don't believe in that after the fact stuff.
Yeah.
I've had trades not work out. That's part of trading. But I've had a lot more of them have worked out than not work out.
I guess I'm trying to think of what would we do with something like this New Zealand dollar. We have to wait for it to come all the way down to 66
That's
even.
what you're paid for on this particular system. On this particular system, that's what you're paid for, is to wait. And remember, the 00 is fractal. Once you have that line in the sand on this candle, then you can go down to a lower time frame and start looking for some kind of signal as to which way it might go. And if you're unsure, you know what you do? Come back tomorrow. It's not that difficult. If you're unsure, just come back tomorrow.
I would never taken a trade that I had any confidence in whatsoever.
Well, as time goes on, that'll change. And nobody has 100%. I'm not 100% confident on my trades, but I'm confident that I've done my analysis properly. That's what I'm confident on. Because once I click the button, some guy could blow up something in Iran and cause the market to crash 9,000 pips. I have no control over that. I don't know if and when that's going to happen. But based on normal conditions, I try to do my homework and follow my rules. Every trade I've taken, well, with one or two exceptions, every trade I've taken has been by the rules. I haven't altered them, changed them, tweaked them, and everyone could see exactly what I did, when I did it, and why I did it. So, like I said, once you catch a couple of these, you'll get it. Sometimes it's just, trying to get that first one under your belt. Let's take a
But
look
we
at
still
it.
have to wait for it to get on the daily candle to get to the 00 or something.
Yeah, but remember, it's fractal. All the time frames are going to hit it at the exact same time. I'm looking at the daily candle to give me a bead on the overall move of the market. Did you understand what I'm saying?
I guess I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, don't worry about it. This system may not be for you, and I wouldn't stress over it. All right. But I'm just trying to show how we can take advantage of this using this 100 pip grid, because these are launching points. These 100 pip markers are all launching points, and that's what you'd like to take advantage of.
Yeah, Lou, the other thing there is even on that daily chart, we can still use all the other things you taught us, like I can see plenty of price traps there and things like that.
Oh,
so,
exactly, yeah. You've got the price trap here. You've got the 1889 here.
Yeah, there's loads of them. Yeah.
Right, and then you can use that 00 as a profit target, because they are magnetic and they're repulsive at the same time.
Yep. Yep.
So, and that's what I said before. Once you see it, you can use any one of your methods. So here we have a tap at this. Let's just take this current one. That's what I said. I'm not trying to change anything you do that's working. Continue to do it.
Yeah, I've never had anything that works, so that's why I'm always trying different things.
Right. Well, you'll find something. So here, based on this trend line break, this daily candle opened on the other side of that trend line.
Yeah.
And then let me throw the 18 in. Insert indicators. I will do the 1889 just because I like the 3-3 better, but we'll do the 1889 for this.
Go to trends.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to talk and do this at the same time. I'll use the 14. Close enough. 14 is close enough. Okay. So I'm in the direction of the moving average. This opened up on the other side, and I've got a hell of a target right there to look at.
Absolutely.
Now that this trend line is in, I can go to a 15 the same way we do with the 5 minute and the 1 minute.
Yeah.
Exact same shit.
Yep.
Exactly the same, but I've got a great target out here. Now this is that same line from the daily. So what I do now is I clean it up in here.
Yep.
Let me see how I can drag this up. Yeah, I'd go like in here. All right, or even go right up in here, because I know what I'm looking for. Let me get rid of this and put a fresh one in. Delete. Yeah, so now this would become this. You follow me?
Yep.
Now my entry is at the open of this candle because this candle opened at the other side of the trend line.
Yep.
So now I'm in here.
Zero.
I've got my 13, I like my 10 pips plus 3 for the spread.
Yep.
And I've got a profit target that makes sense on the
Yep.
double zeros.
Yep.
So that's my entry. And you can see,
Your
now it's a
stop
hell
loss
of a
was never
ride
in any
because
danger.
you're up big and then, the price gives some back. And that's the other part that the waiting on it will take a while to get used to. It's the
Your
exact
stop
same
loss was
thing.
never in any danger there, Lou, was it?
No, no, not at all. So like I said, whatever method you have, that's what you go for. Let me just change this to a 3-3. I happen to like the 3-3 on some of these because when you get that close below the 3 and you're with the trend, that your stop goes right there now. So that's the thing I like about the 3-3. But we'll get into that a little bit more another time. And then I always have a trend indicator on here with the 3-3. Very similar to the 1889. It's just some people can't quite get the idea of drawing the trend line. So this one is simple enough. In fact, I'll just throw in another trend moving average, and I'll put the 18 back on. I could put an 18 and an 89. I'll just put the 18 for now. 0 and navy blue. Bop, 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 bop. Okay. Oh no. Well, this should be the 89 here. Hang on, because I don't like to have them sitting on top of each other. There we go. So now we're below the 89, and when I get that close below the 3 shift, that's what I want to be in. We come to current time, and now I'd be looking for this close below here. And the beauty of this is that because this 3 shift is shifted over 3 candles, it gives you a warning, a very nice warning that prices are about to turn. But that's something you got to see in a live market. To explain it wouldn't do it justice. All right. I just want to go back here and just take a look at this pound dollar. We expected it to go long, and it's going long, but it's slow as hell. But everything we talked about, we exceeded the daily range. I'm looking for a bounce to go long. We had our pullback, failed to make a new low. Okay.
So you consider going long even though it's under the 89.
Well, in this particular case, because we've exceeded yesterday's daily range. And it's like a rubber band. You stretch the rubber band as far as it can go, it tends to snap back to the middle. Okay?
There's also just some news out by the pound and the dollar.
Okay. So, but we were busy with the lesson, so, and I wouldn't take a trade here until I got above the 18 anyway, because, once you get above the 18, it tends to go back to the 89. If you remember that aspect of it.
Yeah.
All right. So the only actual trade we had.
There was a price trap there, Lou. It broke the price trap.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah.
Yep. And the only other trade we had was this one. So this would be our entry right here.
Yeah.
And we might have got our 5 pips. Okay, because it went 9. But I'm expecting this to take a slow crawl back up to the 89. Okay, because it's used all of this up. So there's going to be a lot of profit taking going on down here. And, we need to make a bottom wick on the daily. Doesn't happen all the time, but, you have to think ahead of the trade. All right. So that was a lot of ground to cover today with the grid. I'm going to touch on it again tomorrow and show you a couple of other ways of approaching it and trading it. All right. Are there any questions on anything? This was recorded. It'll be up on the YouTube shortly. Any questions or any thoughts?
Just my usual.
Okay. Rob, thanks for making that adjustment on that grid builder. I just want to know, were you able to make it so we could change the color?
I can do that, and also I'm trying to figure out how to make it draw one more bar. What it does is looks for the highest and lowest prices of all the bars on your chart, and it puts the grid among those. And I'm trying to make it do one more, one higher and one lower. So if we're in that situation, like on the
yeah, when we went down
dollar
to
yen,
15,
yeah,
it didn't have
since we
a
were at the
lower
low,
bar.
since we were at the low, it didn't put another bar down or another line
Okay.
down there. So
That's cool. Well, you know, it's not a deal killer because we could just put a horizontal line and type in the parameter, but that
well,
would
or
be a
just
nice addition too.
yeah, or just select one of the ones that's already there and just change the value of it, and then boom, you got one at the
Right,
same
it'll pop
color
right down in the right place.
that you don't need. All right, thanks, Lou.
Okay, I know it was a lot of information today, but like I said, we'll go over it and review it again tomorrow. Keep an eye on a couple of those pairs that we looked at, and I didn't write it down. Was it New Zealand dollar daily? No, there was one that was
No.
right at it.
Oh, Aussie dollar.
Aussie. So keep an eye on the Aussie dollar and see what happens with that. Okay. Now the other thing here, why I may think to go long here, is we've got a few candles in a row without a real significant pullback. So we might get like in here. You see, you got these two candles, and now here was a little pullback in here. So this may give us a bit of a pullback. So, but again,
how
we
would you
won't know
trade
until it gets to the double zero, and we'll see what it does. Okay. But that's one that I want to keep an eye on. And the New Zealand dollar weekly was the other one. Let me just go back to that. New Zealand dollar weekly.
Well, you have it on your chart already.
Oh, down here. Yeah, I see it. We've got that. We've got 11 candles in a row and our RSI way down. So I'm looking. Now, this has nothing to do with the grid. Okay. Now, if it happens to coincide with the grid, even better. But this is straight Boris and Kathy thing.
Burger King.
Okay, you got it? But now, if it coincides with the grid, that's all the better. But we're going to wait and see if we can catch this pullback to the upside.
What is it that you're looking for?
Boris and Kathy, in one of their books, I should put the book in the room too. I don't know if that book has that system in it. I've got a couple of they made one book of just their trading systems. Some of them were okay. Some of them actually just flat out suck. But no, I mean, some of my stuff sucks. I mean, I don't disparage them for that. You know what I'm saying? But they did put out a book with a bunch of stuff in it. But one of them was a method where if you get 8 candles in a row, okay, and this is 8 candles in a row here, or 13 candles in a row, and they look for a reversal on the 13th candle. Myself and another guy, we were working with the RSI, and I keep forgetting the guy's name. I keep saying Rogers RSI. Caldwell? What's the guy's name with the RSI? I can't think of his name. But there was another guy that worked with worked with RSI, and he used a 2 RSI on a daily chart, and every time the RSI got below 10 or above 90, he would look for trades in that direction. And I'm oversimplifying.
You mean Connors, Lou?
Connors, yes, thank you. You know, my brain sometimes just has its moments. Yeah, so Connors RSI. So what I did was I combined the two. I combined the Connors RSI with an 8 pip or 13 pip move. And we caught one a couple of weeks ago that turned out very well. But it's rare that you get that 8 or 13 in a row, but that's kind of what you look for. So I see that scenario here on the weekly. And keep in mind, if the weekly comes back to this level here, which is what I would pick by eye, this lone soldier, if the weekly pulls back to that level, you're talking 500 pips.
Jeez.
Ooh.
Okay? And a 50% pullback is not super unusual. All right? It would be a big move for this because it's gone so far, but it would not be out of the question. So we got our eye on Aussie dollar and New Zealand dollar weekly. All right. I am going to say so long. I got a long day ahead of me. Just house stuff.
Quick question, Lou. Are you
Yep.
related to Alice Cooper?
By drugs only. We've used the same medicinal products back in the day.
This meeting start at 6:30 or
8:30.
8:30 here, yeah.
Yeah, I may start a few of the meetings earlier because there are a couple of things that I want to catch with the
I just never-
7:30 to 8 breakout. So I want to catch a couple of those together because remember, if you're looking for 100 pips a week, you need to have a couple of systems and you need to look at a few pairs. Okay?
All right.
But we're prepping for that this week. That's what all this is about. You got me? All right. So I'm going to say so long, and I'll get this thing rendered and posted, and we'll pick this up again tomorrow. All right?
Very good. Thank you, sir.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Be well, guys.
Yeah, and Daryl, I've never seen Lou bite a chicken's head off like Alice yet.
Yeah. Have him keep his webcam on.
Ask his daughter.
Yeah, they've seen me eat snake,
Okay.
an alligator, but
Eee.
not a chicken. So, all right. Take it easy.